Hiya, hello, Wednesday, how are you? Is that working? It says that my internet's down. Okay, there we go. Oh, hair's a bit crazy. How are you, everyone? It is Wednesday. It is amazing to see you. And I have a really interesting topic tonight. It's something that I've learned the hard way. I'm going to share it with you so that you can shortcut learning it that way. All right. So here it is. I'm putting it out there. Energy is the new currency. So what does that mean? No, I am not talking about solar panels or battery operated things. What I am talking about is our energy, how we are every day, day to day. So let me tell you the hard part of how I learned this. Hi, Casey. So energy is the new currency. When I opened my business, I worked hard. Like everybody, you work hard. I slept at the office, I ate at the office, I worked massive hours, and I just went bullet a gate for many, many years because I was just so driven to be successful and to do the best that I could. And about the 5-year mark, or probably about the 4 or 5 year mark, I really hit a roadblock. I had adrenal fatigue, I got divorced, you name it, it happened. I got really, really sick. And it was because I just ran on empty for way too long. And you have to remember that also before this happened, I actually, with my cycling career, I was exercising a lot, a ton. I was training all the time. Then I opened the business and I kind of went from one passion to the other without having much balance. I really just threw everything I could into the business. And it was a really interesting transition period for me coming out of that sickness, in that I really realized that having energy is really the most important asset you can have as a person. And when I'm talking about energy, I call it energy, but I'm talking about your health and well-being. Now, I know I am not reinventing the wheel here by explaining this, but I do know that I really have lived and breathed it. And there is no amazing ratio, but I also know that it is something that we always juggle and we always balance with. And I have learnt really and truly that if I want people around to follow me, to listen to me, if I can serve them in a way that they connect to me, I need to be the best version of myself, which of course means being healthy. And so it was by learning that hard way that I've had to really prioritize my health and become a non-negotiable. And that wasn't easy for me because beforehand, exercise was almost a job for me. Then I opened my business and my career with my business became my job. And so, I kind of pushed that aside. And although I loved exercising, it was always put on the back burner no matter what, where nothing to do with my business or my career or my clients would ever be put on the back burner. I'm still very much like that now. Those that know me know that, it's not unusual for me to pull a midnight shift working on a project. I would work still every weekend. But the difference is now I really recognize when I need to really do a little bit of health and well-being. So for me, sleep has been the biggest thing no matter what. Those of you who know me know I am a total grandma. And I hate late nights now, no matter what. Even if I'm out with friends, even if it's New Year's Eve, whatever it is, late nights are kind of my non-negotiable. I just don't do them. I need my 8 hours sleep. It makes me the best version of myself, and so I do it. And again, I'm not coming from a place where I'm preaching you. I'm coming from the place because I have hit rock bottom with this stuff before. And when you come from a place where you have hit rock bottom, and then you're coming from a place where you do look after yourself, you do exercise, you do make sure you get fruit and veggies in. Don't get me wrong, the girls at work will tell you I am the worst. I'm always the person in the afternoons is asking for chocolate or the mud cake or the Anzac biscuits. But the difference is I make sure that I still get all the goodness in as well. And I make sure I get my exercise and my 8 hours sleep. But here's something really interesting that really was different for me that most people won't think is real. So exercise it is not always about flogging yourself. As those who follow me know, I go to F45, and I actually have to really watch my stress levels as to what exercise I do. I got to a stage when I was working really hard and then I was flogging myself and exercising. What was happening, they established, is obviously with the stress, I've got all this cortisol going, and then with my exercise, the type of exercise that I was doing, I had all this cortisol as well, because it was just this high energy, high crazy impact. And so what I was doing, I was never having a balance. So now with my exercise, I really have to listen to my body and see what it needs. And so Pilates has been amazing for that. And tomorrow, for instance, I'm backing up Pilates 2 days in a row, where normally I go to F45, but my body's feeling a bit out of whack, and I've had, you know, a couple of big days at work. So sometimes I have to juggle it, but it's about recognizing that I have to move, and that if I don't move, I'm really not bringing the best version of myself to my staff. I'm not showing them what a leader should be. I also find as well, when I'm sitting in client meetings, if I don't have that energy within me, I really am not being the best way that I can serve them as well. And as I said, I'm really sharing this because a couple of people commented on a video I did recently with Eleanor in her Facebook Live, and we spoke about this, and I was really surprised. I'm not preaching this because it's rewriting the wheel or rewriting the Bible or what have you. It's because I hit rock bottom. I had adrenal fatigue. I worked my butt off. As I said, I was divorced. Everything you could think of that happens when you work your butt off, I did it. It's funny though, because do I regret it? Actually, not for 1 minute. I actually really believe that that is not useful thinking, and that I wouldn't be the person I was today if I hadn't had those failures. And I actually think that there is a very large part of my success that is because I went through that journey and that I did do those massive hours. And as I said, I still work those hours now. But now I really have to recognize the energy and the currency, and that is how I operate. And it's different for everybody. For me, I am an absolute troll if I don't get enough sleep. Like I look like crap, so I feel like crap, and I'm really just not got this, you know, this level of intensity and engagement when I'm serving people or when I'm with my staff. I can't really be the leader that they need them to be if I haven't had that sleep. And it is interesting because a lot of people think that coming from like an elite sports background that you would understand and know these things. But at that level of sport, that is a career, that is a job. So I just went from one career to another career. Even though I knew the importance, for me, it was just simply a shift in motivation for a goal. And it was just, you know, it was so interesting, especially when we get those high performance business people that work really hard all day, then they go to the gym and they absolutely flog themselves, and you're not balancing out that cortisol. We're always at that high intensity. Thank you, Amanda. And we're always at that high intensity, and we're not allowing the cortisol to balance in different ways. And that's where, for me, I have really found that I have to add in some meditation. I have to add in some other bits and pieces, and, you know, Pilates and things like that have been amazing for me. And then it's like, you know, if I do that for too long, I get really itchy feet because I'm not exercising, I'm not getting my sweat on. It's such a funny balance. It really is. So the balance, the ratio, look, oh man, it is different for everyone. It changes from day to day. I mean, I am still one of those people that lies in bed and go, am I tired or am I lazy? I mean, who else does that? Like, you actually have to have that conversation with yourself. Am I tired? Am I lazy? Is it okay not to go to the gym today? Should I just do this instead? And I find for me, I need to have a bullshit partner. I need to have someone that I can message and be like, yo, I don't really know. Like, am I being lazy, or is this like legit? I should just actually not go to the gym today. And I get that third party to look in. So the moral of this is that I was interviewed on a video last week, and you know, there were some things that I said there that I forget. They have become so natural to me that I forget that they're not natural to everyone else. And that is that I have really learned that my energy is my currency. That is how I share with people. That is how I connect with people. I interact. I commoditize, if you like, in a funny way to think of it. But that is how I'm at my best. My currency is my best when I have a high energy level. And from everything from the way that I have a pep in my step, in the way that I communicate, in the way that I, get so much out of every day. Often people say to me they can't believe how much I do in every day. And I can tell you now, it is about being productive and like mega productive. If those that know me, I just jam pack every day. And that is because I need to make sure I have the energy to do that. And that goes back to, hey, if you ask the girls at work, I am so bad. I seriously have a treat every single day, but I make sure I fill up with fruit and veggies and stuff as well. Okay. So energy is the newest form of currency. I actually can't remember who I heard that quote from, that energy is the new currency. I truly believe it. I truly believe it. But it's really about understanding, honestly, guys, what works best for you, okay? For me, I've just booked in for Pilates again tomorrow morning. I usually only do it once a week, and I'm doing 2 days in a row because my brain's just a bit frazzled. I went to the chiro yesterday, and I'm just feeling a little out of sorts. And I know that I'm at that tipping point where if I just push a little bit too hard in a really high intensity class, there's just too much cortisol going on. And then the funny thing is, by Friday, I'll get itchy feet because I haven't really got my sweat on like really hard for a couple of days. So it's a funny thing. But one thing that I have learned the hard way, and that I would love to share this message so that you can all shortcut it and learn from my mistakes, is that to be the best version in every single thing that you do. And this is being a mum. This is being a mum. This is being a husband or a wife or anything like that. To be the best, to feel those things, you need to have energy. However you get that energy, however you balance it, that's what you need to make. And so you need to prioritize you, because you need to think about all those people that you're letting down if you're not being you. Okay? So that is my message for tonight. And thank you for those that inspired me to actually talk about it a little bit, because I forget sometimes that what is my normal and what is my non-negotiables isn't common knowledge to what other people do and live and breathe. And it's these kind of lessons and stories that I love to share about, mistakes and dare I say failures that I have made during my lifetime that have really led to my success. If I can shortcut some of those things for you, amazing. That's exactly what my online coaching course is just all about, is you missing all that hard stuff and getting to the good stuff, because there's no point in me doing it, having all those failures if you can't learn from it. So on that topic, it is after 8 o'clock. So that must mean it's time for me to get in my PJs and get ready for bed at 9 o'clock. Okay, gang? As always, it was amazing to talk to you. Feed your brain, feed your body, and it just gives you so much more, okay? Really recognizing that half an hour meditation away from work and then doing 12 hours of work, you'll be so much better. You'll just be next level. You got this, gang. I'll talk to you soon. See ya.